This is not advice. This is a mental reset. You didn't come here to be inspired. You came here to be transformed. And you will be, if you listen like your life depends on it. Because it does. The weak version of you is comfortable. It likes easy. It loves comfort. But comfort is the graveyard of greatness. You're not here to survive. You're here to command. This message isn't about hype. It's not about motivation. Motivation dies. This is about war. The war that happens in your mind before your feet even hit the floor. And if you don't win that war, nothing else matters. The enemy doesn't wear gloves. It wears your face. It whispers soft lies. You're tired. You're not enough. You've done enough. Kill that voice. Kill it with discipline. Kill it with action. Kill it with silence. Because silence is where killers are made. Not in the crowd, not in applause. In the shadows, in the repetitions, in the pain. That's where the unstoppable are born. You want to be powerful? Learn to suffer in silence. You want to be respected? Train when no one's watching. You want to become someone new? Burn the old identity. Burn the excuses. Burn the patterns that kept you weak. There is no shortcut. There is no hack. There is no easy version of transformation. There is only pressure. There is only friction. There is only you and what you're willing to become. Mike Tyson didn't become a beast in the ring. He became one at 4 a.m., running alone in the cold before the city woke up. He became one when he trained through pain, fear, doubt, over and over and over again. And that's how it begins. You build your mindset like a weapon, sharpened by truth, hardened by struggle, forged in discipline. Today we begin, not a new day, a new era, a new version of you, forged in silence. This isn't just a message, it's a mirror, and if you're brave enough to face it, you'll never go back. I train in silence. I move with purpose. Mike Tyson didn't train to compete, he trained to dominate. He didn't enter the ring hoping to win. He stepped in knowing he already had. Why? Because the real fight happened long before the bell. In the cold, in the sweat, in the repetition, in the silence. He understood one thing most men never will. The mind is the arena, and if you don't control it, it owns you. Every fighter has fear, but Tyson learned to bend fear into focus. He made it work for him. While others trembled, he stalked. While others waited, he advanced. While others thought, he acted. You don't flinch. You don't wait. You don't ask. That's the code. And that code was written with pain, with suffering, with obsession. His mentality wasn't built on comfort. It was built on chaos. On waking up at 4 a.m. because Customato told him, if they're still sleeping, you're already winning. He didn't need motivation. He had purpose. And when you have purpose, pain becomes fuel. Doubt becomes fire. And fear becomes focus. You train not to impress. You train to become. To become what? Untouchable, undeniable, unstoppable. The fight is not just physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual. Most men lose before they even begin. They carry weakness in their posture, in their words, in their excuses. But Tyson killed excuses with effort. He didn't ask if it was fair. He didn't complain when it hurt. He didn't negotiate with fatigue. He showed up. And then he showed up again. And again. And again. Until showing up became who he was. That's the mentality. That's what separates lions from lambs, champions from contenders, killers from spectators. You think confidence is natural? No. It's earned. Through struggle, through silence, through sacrifice. He trained his fists, yes, but he trained his mind harder. Because the fists follow the mind. You don't train your body to fight. You train your mind to never retreat, never doubt, never stop. That's the Tyson mentality. Pure, cold, focused, relentless. You don't get to skip the struggle. You become the struggle. You learn to love the pressure. You learn to smile at the pain. Because pain means growth. Pain means movement. And if you're moving, You're winning. You fight every day, not with gloves, but with choices, with discipline, with effort. You fight when you turn off the phone and train instead. You fight when you wake up without an alarm. You fight when you do what others won't, just because they won't. The fighter's mindset doesn't ask for rewards. It demands transformation. That's what Tyson understood. You don't fight for a title. You fight to destroy the weaker version of yourself. Every single day. And the best part? It's not talent. It's not gifts. It's not luck. It's choice. And that means it's yours. You can build this. You can live this. But you have to decide, comfort or combat, distraction or domination. Excuses or execution. You're not like them. You don't fold. You don't fade. You don't wait for a perfect moment. You become it. That's the Tyson inside you. Silent, cold, sharp, precise. You don't speak it. You prove it. Not once. Not sometimes. Every day. No breaks. No bargains. Just blood, breath, and focus. That's how you build a mind that can't be broken. That's how you become a weapon. That's how you become dangerous. That's how you become unstoppable. I train in silence. I move with purpose. There's a war inside you. A war no one sees. No crowd. No spotlight. Just you and the voice that tells you to quit. That voice has your tone, your doubts, your history. It remembers your failures. It loves your fears. It wants you soft. It wants you small. It wants you silent. That voice is not your friend. It's the echo of the old you. And that version has to die. If you want power, kill the version that hesitates. If you want control, bury the one that needs permission. You want freedom, then destroy the one who's addicted to comfort. This isn't inspiration. This is execution. You execute the weak habits. You execute the lazy thoughts. You execute the patterns that pull you back. The world won't do it for you. No one is coming. Not your coach, not your father, not your past, just you. And the enemy lives in your routines, in the way you start your day, in the way you talk to yourself. You either feed the beast or you starve it. And the beast is not the fighter. The beast is the coward inside you. The version that scrolls, that waits, that watches, that blames, that lies. That version fears challenge. It runs from growth. It panics when it's time to act. It's the version that says, maybe tomorrow. But tomorrow never shows. That version must be starved. Starved with discipline. Starved with training. Starved with truth. Because truth hurts, but it sets killers free. Mike Tyson didn't win because he was bigger. He won because he silenced the inner coward. He didn't allow softness, he hunted it down. He replaced it with repetition, with violence of focus, with brutal honesty. You don't change by chance, you change by confrontation. Every day is a battlefield, and your habits are the enemy's soldiers. Every excuse is a weapon against you. Every delay is a surrender, and surrender becomes a pattern. You surrender once, and it becomes who you are. You skip one workout, and the voice gets louder. You break one promise to yourself, and your confidence dies in silence. But the opposite is also true. You win one battle, and you become a different man. You wake up when you said you would. You take back control. You train through pain. You build self-respect. You reject the excuse, and you install a new code. That's how it happens. Slowly, brutally, honestly. You build the man in pieces. You kill the coward by inches. You install a fighter in its place. You don't need applause. You don't need approval. You need a mirror and the will to face it. That's it. You fight your inner enemy with actions, with silence, with promises kept, and most of all, with pain. Pain reveals the truth. It exposes who you are and who you're pretending to be. Pain strips the mask, and what's left is either a weapon or a weak man lying to himself. You want to be free? Kill the lie. You want to evolve? Kill the version that waits. You want to dominate? Kill the one that needs to be told what to do. You're not a child. You're not a victim. You're not lost. You're just undisciplined. And that's fixable. But only if you decide to fight. Every day. Without break. Without sympathy. Without apology. Because no one's coming to rescue you. No one's showing up to push you. That's your job. And if you don't do it, no one will. So start now. Declare war. Not with the world. With the version of you that hates pressure. That avoids pain. That chooses easy. That's the enemy. And today, he dies. I train in silence. I move with purpose. Isolation is not punishment. It's preparation. You grow when you're alone. You sharpen when you're forgotten. The world tells you to be seen, to be liked, to be followed. But the men who become something, they vanish. They disappear into silence, into pain, into process. That's where the transformation happens. That's where beasts are built. Mike Tyson didn't grow in front of cameras. He grew in basements, in dark gyms, in empty roads at 4 a.m. when the streets were cold and quiet and no one was watching. That's when he became dangerous, alone. No applause, no permission, no distractions. Just war, just breath, just repetition. People think success is about being known. It's not. It's about becoming so good, so cold, so unbreakable that no one can deny you. And that only happens in isolation. Isolation is where weakness dies, where doubt gets burned, where your demons get exposed and confronted, without filters, no comfort, no noise, just you and the mirror. And that's the scariest place in the world, because you can't lie to the mirror. You can't flex to the mirror. You either did the work or you didn't. You either trained today or you didn't. You either moved forward or you stood still. Isolation tells the truth, and most men run from that. They need distraction. They need voices. They need validation. But warriors don't need noise. They don't need the crowd. They don't need comfort. They need solitude. They need structure. They need silence. That's where the inner weapon is forged. When you train in silence, you hear your doubts louder, and that's good, because then you face them. You conquer them. You don't numb them with scrolling. You don't run from them with excuses. You don't post quotes and pretend. You suffer in silence. You repeat in silence. You bleed in silence. That's the formula. No announcement, just execution. The ones who isolate don't just train, they transform. Every rep is identity. Every early morning is declaration. Every ignored temptation is confirmation. You are no longer weak. You are no longer that man. You are something else. You are silent fire. You are focus without noise. You are movement without permission. You are discipline without applause. That's the power of isolation. You don't beg for strength. You build it in the dark. You don't ask for clarity. You find it when everything is quiet. You don't wait for motivation. You act like you already have it. Because in isolation, you stop performing and you start becoming. Becoming someone dangerous, someone unshakable, someone precise. You don't show off. You show up. And that's everything. You don't train for likes. You train for legacy. You don't grind for approval. You grind for evolution. The man you want to be isn't found in noise. He's born in silence, grown in repetition, sculpted by ritual, and unleashed in the world when the time is right. But first, you vanish. You disappear into your own war. You disappear into focus, into silence, into grind. And when they ask where you've been, you won't say a word. You'll let your results answer. That's what Tyson understood. He didn't need a crowd. He didn't need praise. He needed purpose. And purpose lives in isolation. You want to be strong? Be alone. You want to be sharp? Be quiet. You want to be unstoppable? Learn to disappear. You're not invisible. You're just too focused to be seen. You're not lost. You're just deep in your mission. You're not broken. You're just being rebuilt in the silence. Most people avoid isolation But you seek it. Because you know what happens there. Fire, power, discipline, identity. I train in silence. I move with purpose. Everybody falls, but not everybody rises. Falling is natural. Rising is a decision. And most men stay down because they don't know how to come back. They think failure is a sentence. It's not. It's a signal to rebuild, a signal to become something new, but only if you stop crying and start creating. Mike Tyson fell hard. He lost it all. The money, the title, the name. But the man didn't disappear. He went into the shadows, into himself, into silence. That's where the comeback started. Not in the ring, in the pain. The comeback code doesn't begin with applause. It begins in humiliation. It begins when you've got nothing left but breath and a name that no longer feels like yours. But you breathe anyway. You stand anyway. You move anyway. That's the first law of the comeback. You move without motivation. No one claps. No one helps. No one believes. So what? You believe. You build. You move. Because you don't need permission to come back. You just need direction. And the direction is this. Forward. Always forward. No matter how slow, no matter how heavy, no matter how silent. You move. That's what Tyson did. He owned his chaos. He faced it. He didn't lie to himself. He didn't numb the pain. He swallowed it and used it. Pain became purpose. Loss became fuel. Regret became a fire so intense that nothing could stop him from rising again. That's the comeback code. It's not glamorous. It's brutal. It's lonely. It's repetitive. But it works. You build again. With what you've got. With who you are. Even if that's broken. Especially if that's broken. Because broken men make the best warriors. If they decide to rise. That's the power. That's the law. That's the path. You're not coming back as the man you were. You're coming back as something else. Harder. Colder. Sharper. You fell for a reason. Not to break. To build. You were too soft. Too slow. Too distracted. So life crushed you. Good. Now build again. But build different. Build with precision. Build with scars. Build with silence. No one sees the comeback coming. That's why it's powerful. You train in the dark. You rebuild when no one cares. And then, when they think you're gone, you return. But not to prove them wrong. To prove yourself right. That's the Tyson mentality. He wasn't addicted to fame. He was addicted to the climb, to the rise, to the fight. And that fight starts in the dirt, in the blood, in the tears. You take all of it and you build. Every tear becomes a rep. Every regret becomes a rep. Every memory becomes a rep. Until the past no longer haunts you. It fuels you. Until your name doesn't shame you. It sharpens you. Until your pain doesn't break you. It builds you. That's how you come back. You train like your life depends on it. Because it does. You move like there's no plan B. Because there isn't. You wake up every day and remind yourself, I don't need applause. I need progress. I don't need redemption. I need results. I don't need forgiveness. I need fire. That's the code. The comeback isn't pretty. It's not loud. It's not public. It's personal, deep, ruthless, sacred. And when you finally rise, they won't recognize you. And that's the point. You're not who you were. You're who you became. I train in silence. I move with purpose. Beasts don't rise by chance. They rise by ritual. Identity is not found, it's built. And it's built in what you do daily. Not sometimes, not when you feel like it. Every day, before the sun rises, before the world speaks, that's when the real ones move. That's when Tyson moved. You think it was talent? No, it was repetition. It was discipline. It was structure so brutal and simple that it would break most men. Wake, run, train, eat, study tape, train again. Silence. No parties, no distractions, no excuses, only purpose. That's what it means to live like a beast. Every action has weight. Every morning is war. And the first battle is with the man who wants to stay in bed. You kill him at 5 a.m. You kill him when you move without emotion. You don't wait to feel ready. You make the decision, and then you move. That's the ritual. You rise when others sleep. You train when others talk. You focus when others scroll, and you repeat. The repetition is the identity. You don't need intensity. You need consistency. You don't need more information. You need more execution. You don't need hype. You need hunger. And that hunger must be fed every single day. Not with food, with action, with silence, with the cold edge of discipline. You don't pray for greatness. You grind for it. You don't wish for strength. You work for it. You don't visualize comfort. You visualize domination. You see yourself winning before the world believes it. You rehearse the victory before the moment arrives. That's the Tyson way. See it. Feel it. Become it. Every rep. Every second. Every breath. You train like you're already that man. You walk like you've already won. You think like there's no alternative. Because there isn't. Identity is built in the mundane, in the silence, in the early hours, in the water you drink, in the way you lace your shoes, in the way you speak to yourself before the world speaks back. You don't say, I hope. You say, I will. You don't say, maybe. You say, watch me. You don't say, someday. You say, now. Because everything is ritual. The way you wake, the way you train, the way you speak, the way you breathe. It all matters. It all adds up. And most men treat it like noise. But not you. You treat it like war, like a sacred code, like your future depends on it. Because it does. You start your day with movement. You end it with reflection. You don't waste time. You hunt it. You track it. You dominate it. You use silence as a weapon, stillness as a sharpening tool, and gratitude as fuel. You're grateful but never satisfied. You're grounded but never soft. You're focused but never slow. Because every day you declare war on the old you. And you don't need an audience to do it. You don't need likes. You don't need recognition. You need routine. You need solitude. You need obsession. You need to be the kind of man who disappears for months and comes back unrecognizable. Because that's what daily ritual does. It turns ordinary men into legends. It turns pain into identity, repetition into royalty, and silence into power. You want to become unstoppable? Do the same boring, brutal, beautiful things every day until they turn you into a weapon. Wake early. Move with speed. Eat with purpose, speak with discipline, train with rage, reflect with truth, sleep like a warrior, wake up again, and repeat. That's the ritual. That's the life. That's the price. I train in silence. I move with purpose. It's done. You've heard the words. You've faced the truth. Now there's no going back. Because once you've seen the beast in you, you can't unsee it. Once you've felt the fire, you can't pretend you're cold. Once you've tasted what discipline feels like, comfort becomes poison. You're not the same. You're no longer soft. You're no longer sleeping. You're awake now. And you can't go back to the man who begged for permission. That man is dead. You killed him. With early mornings. With silence. With truth. With repetition. And now you walk differently. You speak differently. You think differently. Because identity isn't something you hope for. It's something you execute. Every day. In silence. Without applause. You don't need to be told who you are. You already know. You are focus. You are fire. You are obsession with purpose. The world doesn't get to define you. You define yourself. In the dark, in the quiet, in the repetition. You've installed the mindset. You've accepted the war. You've sharpened the code. You are no longer waiting. You are no longer reacting. You are no longer hoping. You are moving. With clarity, with direction, with dominance. Every breath now is a decision. Every step is a declaration. You are the weapon. You are the storm. You are the man who rises when others fold. The man who trains when no one's watching. The man who speaks with his actions, not his words. This is your life now. This is your path. You don't need motivation. You are momentum. You don't ask if you're ready. You move because readiness is in your nature. It's who you are now. And when the weak ask how you changed, you won't explain. You'll keep moving. Because the beast doesn't talk. The beast trains. The beast executes. The beast dominates. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be legendary. You're not here to chase attention. You're here to command silence. You're not here to survive. You're here to take over. So what now? Are you going to scroll back to your old self? Or step into the ring as the man you were meant to be?